a Black Ferns outfit who have reeled off 4 straight tournament victories. They come here with such momentum, and out they come in their altered strip with a Canada side in desperate need of a win here for company. I'm delighted to say we have been joined by the head coach of the Black Ferns, Corey Sweeney. Corey, thank you so much for stopping by. We spoke to Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe yesterday after that incredible performance against Great Britain, and we asked what you were looking to get out of Madrid. She said the operative word was fun. Do you concur?
Oh, 100%. Every time they come out and play, we have to have fun. I guess that's the number one, no doubt. But I mean, if there's there's always a performance aspect as well, and that's what coaches are looking for. And along with that fun, we want to see momentum, we want to see combinations, and we want to ultimately see these ladies expressing themselves on the field. And they did that yesterday really well, and hopefully we can bring that into day 2.
Momentum is the operative word for your side. 4 trophies on the bounce. In practice, behind the scenes, how do you go about maintaining that and maybe even building further?
Yeah, well, that's the key. We've got to keep growing. As soon as you get stale or you stop growing, then that's when you start seeing complacency and probably performance starts to dip. So I've said it the whole way along this season. We've got 20 players in this group, and they keep this group honest. They fight, and they're really competitive at home, and they push each other. And I guess that's the key at the moment. We've worked really hard this year, and they're performing really well.
It sounded like a really special jersey presentation on Thursday night. The question is really, Corey, did you also submit a baby photo to the guessing game?
I did, and unfortunately that was one of those really old photos, but it was black and white and a little bit brown, so they picked it out really quickly.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear it, giving away your age just a little bit there. Corey, thanks for stopping by. We'll let you focus on coaching now.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Off the kick-off ball straight away with Canada, and Georgia Miller finds herself on defensive duties immediately. Top for steals on the series this year, the young flyer. She does it on both sides of the ball. Can't quite prize it from Canadian clutches, and someone who will take an awful lot of stopping is Charity Williams, who will streak away from even the class of Mahina Poole to open Canada's accounts. Scoffing in the face of the form book.
Well, not many people would have bet on Canada scoring first in this fixture, but they do. Lovely little wraparound play. The offload in the tackle, if you can get that offload into some space, so hard to defend in sevens.
Well, that is a 97th try of all time on the series for Williams. So she's 3 away from joining the big 100 club. We should mention there's a couple of milestones approaching for athletes across these 2 sides. Close eye on those. And a win, well, what an upset that would be. Not only would Canada bump New Zealand down and out from the semi-final spots ahead of the final round of fixtures, but it would be a snapping of a 27-game streak. Canada haven't beaten the Black Ferns since Clermont in 2016, and they won't do it if they can't send a restart 10 metres.
So frustrating for the Canadian management there. You score and then you don't quite give yourself the best chance on the restart.
So the ball with the world's #1 side right about now, and it's a messy pass, but it finds Blythe, who is jinking and stepping. Look at her go, defeating half of Canada en route to popping the ball out to Risi Purilane, who pinwheels in turn. They have got glitter in their boots, these Black Ferns. The footwork is scintillating. King up and on to Setefano. This pass doesn't find its mark. And Canada get away with one there because Blythe really fancied a crack at that one.
Knock up. Oh, I think both sides kind of got away with one there. That ball was a bit speculative. It was floating in the air. You could see Charity Williams just following it with her eyes, thinking she'll like jump and try and intercept that. Here we are. Certainly not the fluid, clinical New Zealand we're used to just yet.
Well, there are lots of feel-good stories around this event, but one of them certainly the return to the Black Ferns fold of Sarah Hirani. Of course, rupturing her ACL early doors in Dubai in the opening tournament of the campaign, and in a race against time to make it back in time to defend that Olympic gold medal. She is essential to this team, isn't she, Filippo, for her leadership as well as her playing prowess?
Oh, literally, she ticks every box. She is the heart of this sevens team. But she'll never admit it. She's incredibly humble as well.
It's 6 on 6. It's Blythe on Williams, and it's blockbuster. Oh, the pass up towards Corrigan. Wonderful work from Florence Simons. They've kept the ball Reds of Canada, and they have really come to play. Williams thinks she might have spied a little bit of a gap, but the door is slammed shut by Miller. Popping up to gather it is Caroline Crossley. Options on either side. Apps to the blind, but it's open they go, and Piper Logan, who scored against the Black Ferns in big matches before, manages to get the pass away. It's a backdoor offload from Simons. New Zealand are piling on the pressure defensively, but the ball just staying for now with Hanratty's side against the run of form, against the rankings. Apps now, oh my words! Liv Apps with rugby from the gods. And who on earth saw this coming? I'll tell you what, Canada fancy themselves giant slayers in Spain.
They're just matching the physicality at the moment. You normally see a hit from New Zealand or put a player back. At the moment, Canada are managing to stay on their feet, or indeed pirouette out of the tackle. Awesome stuff from Canada.
Well, Apps is fresh from a historic win over the Black Ferns in the 15s format of the game. She quite fancies doing the double. What a month that would be. Daniels makes sure that it is a full points haul, and they will need each and every one of them if they are to achieve something momentous here. The table shifts once more. USA, Canada, New Zealand, Great Britain as things stand. Remember, there's another run of fixtures to come tonight. New Zealand will face the Eagles, and Canada, Great Britain. Flirting with the touchline there was Crossley, who did wonderfully to place that back infield. Apps on to Daniels now. So much youth and talent in this Canadian side, but it's one of the experienced heads there, Corrigan, who decided to take the direct route, draw in a couple of Black Ferns jerseys. Apps now, ball under one arm, gets the offload away. They are just playing such confident, gorgeous rugby, Canada, right now, as Wardley sets off down the touchline. Penalty going the way of Canada. Tackle was high.
No, you ran away with the ball and then thrown it away.
Oh, and it gets worse for New Zealand.
Let's go scrum.
Here, please.
Georgia Miller getting sent to the bin, yellow card.
Throwing the ball away, number 88. Here.
Canada haven't put more than 12 points on the Black Ferns since Dubai. And the Black Ferns have put 27 tries on them over the course of this season.
Canada,
something quite special is happening, but it's not done yet.
We just saw the ball then. It wasn't the worst I've ever seen of a player throwing the ball away.
Number 11.
Well, in sevens or in 15s, the Canadian rolling maul is a formidable weapon. I'll tell you what, Piper Logan has just scored between her own legs. A rolling maul and then a nutmeg. I don't know if it's ever been seen before, but it more than gets the job done. And yes, you are reading that correctly. Canada are leading the Black Ferns by 19 points to 0.
Wow. Certainly did not see this coming, but you've got to give credit to Canada. This is by no real misfortune from New Zealand. Canada are just on it and playing with such intensity.
Well, it was a tricky conversion, but everything is coming up red right about now. 21-0 as Miller, forced to be a spectator only, watches on from the shade in Madrid. Daniels with the signal, with the ball, with the duties of getting us back underway. Surely there's not a fourth in this Canada outfit before we hit half-time.
Yeah, and see with that maul, just make sure you don't collapse at me before the line.
That is quite enough drama and intensity for those first 7 minutes. There is history to be made here if Canada can just cling on, but what a buffer they have. 27 points to 0 over the league winners, New Zealand. All full of party and pizzazz, and Madrid is no different. Mark your cards, the biggest halftime comeback by any team this season is 10 points. And it was the Black Ferns, down by 10 at the break against France in Perth. 21, the deficit they will need to gobble up if they're to prevent Canada getting a remarkable victory here in the second round of the Women's Championship. It's a looping pass from Blythe. Back in field, hits her foot, ricochets up. Oh my words! Well, Kiara Wardley found herself with open prairie before her and a ball she was not expecting in the slightest, but it's 26 points now.
Well, sometimes they say, don't they, it's the luck of the bounce of the ball, and you can't get much luckier than that. But equally, it's from the defence that Canada are putting on that pressure. Oh, that sums up a lot of New Zealand fans right now.
Shut. Time off, please.
This is a side who put 49 points on Great Britain yesterday, who have reeled off 4 straight tournament wins, and who have just been the dominant force in the sport for months now. 2016, the last time that Liv Apps's side defeated the Black Ferns. 27 straight matches. And here's what that would do to the championship Pool A. Canada would go second. New Zealand would have to defeat the USA, currently sat top tonight. They have to make sure that they are in tomorrow's semi-finals.
Time is clearly on. Can we make sure that the time comes on, please? So, time on. Thank you.
Well, Finlay Brown just making sure that all the clocks are aligned here in Madrid, particularly after the USA kicking it out with 20 seconds left in the previous match. We do have to dot those I's and cross those T's. Well, the Black Ferns in desperate need of some possession, and now at last they have some. They also have 7 women on the field because Georgia Miller is back with us. So it's a level playing field personnel-wise as Woodman-Whitcliffe, that scintillating 6-minute hat-trick yesterday against Great Britain, carries up this near touchline. It's a whiff of a pass from King, absolutely pinpoint, as is the ball in field. And now Puri Lane looking to lead from the front, as she has done at so many clutch moments this year. Ball in field to Miller with all the swerve and the balance. King up and out. Tory Lane now onto that far touchline to Waka. And Stacey Waka has her 100th try in a Black Ferns jersey on the series. She becomes the 4th Black Fern to hit the big fat century.
Just going to move her out your way, OK?
It didn't come in a match that they'll want to celebrate or remember, but what a moment for a special, special individual. And there's the smile. There's the famous smile.
And they had to work hard for it, didn't they? Yeah, Georgia Miller having to step through the centre. You had to have a miracle ball out wide as well. But eventually that possession paid off. That's the longest spell of possession they've had in this game, and that's what they can do with it. It's up to Canada now to try and impose themselves back.
One off Kelly's 101. She's got time for it. 4 minutes remaining. And at last, the Black Ferns get themselves off 0. It's been some time.
Time on, please.
Since they found themselves down by so much and without even a point in response. Their ball to play with. King sends that one spinning and looping and right into the breadbasket of Felix Hotham. Woodman-Whitcliffe on now to Miller. King beckons for the switch, wants one of her danger women on the ball, and that is exactly what Georgia Miller can do. Get her the ball and let those deceptive hips and wonderful feet do the rest. 10 unanswered points. The Black Ferns just beginning to wonder if they could do what had seemed impossible.
Well, if anyone could do it, it'll be the Black Ferns, wouldn't it? And Key, she gets that ball under the post, so the conversion's taken quickly. They're already set and ready to go again.
If you were making a cup of tea, if you had something else on a second screen, if you were doing anything, then just stop. There's 3 minutes left on this. It's going to be an absolute barnstormer. Canada have the ball now, and the Black Ferns are desperate to get it back because they will absolutely view 14 points as surmountable. Wardley, the last Canadian to get a score, finds Apps. Miller is there with all of that mongrel defensive intensity that we have so come to love. And Canada on their own try line, looking to extricate themselves to exit under duress. Apps, ball under one arm. Finding Wardley, who took a real clatter there. Penalty goes the way of the Black Ferns. Canada looked to have held on to the ball for just a second there, but it matters not because it's away and it's clear. And it's Felix Hotham who scythes over. The deficit shrinks yet further. There's 9 points in it. 2 minutes left, kick to come.
Georgia Miller working so hard in defence there, making hits.
Well, the despair has changed to optimism and even a hint of a smile, but Wilson can't add the extras. 10 points the Black Ferns overcame against France earlier on this season in Perth. It was 21-0 at half-time, this one. And they will really be starting to believe. Philippa, how important is it that Canada get the ball by the horns here and they stem the bleeding?
That's just got to be their main focus now. As the players were coming back in, I was trying to see who was talking because the leaders need to stand up now. Above anything else, secure this ball and just keep it. Go edge to edge, just keep the ball.
Keep the ball. Well, you've got to win it first. Messi off the restart. Waka was the first there. Options now. New Zealand bodies in motion as King with the little netball pop pass finds Felix Hotham, who's knocked that one forward.
Advantage.
Scrum going the way to Canada. That might just be enough for the women in red.
It's lost forward scrum.
Defensive pressure telling.
To begin with.
Oh, it's nervy stuff, isn't it, for fans of both sides?
Okay. Time off. 83. Here we are. Oh, we come, please.
Stay on me. We're going to get a lot of pressure. Okay.
Time on.
So it's same message for Canada. Nothing too extreme here. You don't want to have any disconnect, so it's important. Any movement they have, they can keep their players relatively close because they've got to seal the ball. They've got to keep ball.
Daniels now, the 21-year-old playmaker who has just sparkled in the midfield. Oh, and the shot there from Puri Lane, a proper captain's clatter. Still though, the ball stays with Apps and her side, the other skipper getting stuck in. Wilson with the tackle there. Hogan Rochester, fresh legs and glittery cheeks is on, making her presence felt. Just taking the sting out of this one now. Canada know that the clock is their friend. They just need to eat away at the time remaining. 9 points still the difference. Hogan Rochester up and on to Daniels and back over the ball again. Really taking their time with this. Finley Brown, our referee, orders them to use it. Corrigan does exactly that. She's got Wilson for company.
Off it.
Penalty the way of New Zealand. Look at all the options they've got. Oh, but it's a fourth handling error from the Black Ferns. It's the result of the weekend. It's one of the results of Canadian Sevens history. They have snapped. They have decimated a streak that was 27 matches long against the world's best sides. The tears are flowing, the emotions of fever pitch. Just look at what it means to them. Canada have slain a giant. And they have withstood an almighty comeback in the process. What a game, what a scalp. What a moment for Canada women. 26 points to 17 over the #1 team in the world.